And he didn't know that in 2020. He was president in charge of the intelligence apparatus of the United States, and he didn't know that, and he didn't present the evidence then as it was happening. It's nonsense. The only two good elections we had were 2016 and 2024 when the Democrats were president. It's crazy.
All right. In this video, George Conway, Glenn Thrush, and Greg Bluestein sit down to pick apart three things happening at the same time. Trump is about to give a speech about 2020 while polling in the high 30s. Todd Blanch is about to face his confirmation hearing with a tranche of emails showing he personally installed his own people to control the January 6th inquiry. And George Conway delivers the line that cuts through everything. If Trump doesn't believe any of this and is just saying it to be manipulative, that's psychopathic. If he actually believes it, that's psychotic. He may well be both. Let's watch this and I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
New York Times reporter covering the Justice Department, Glenn Thrush, and chief political reporter at the Atlantic Journal-Constitution, co-host of the Politically Georgia podcast, and MSNOW political contributor Greg Bluestein. Greg, we just got word that Jon Ossoff, the senator down there from Georgia, has an emergency news conference. He says it will be brief and it will be starting soon. Do we know what it's about?
Yeah, well, it's about these pending comments from President Trump. We don't know exactly what the president is going to say, but we know in Georgia, the sentiment for a lot of people, Republicans and Democrats, is here we go again. I mean, this is the state where it seems like we cannot get out of the shadow. Is there any state more in the shadow of 2020 than Georgia is, with this ongoing federal probe of ballots in Georgia's biggest Democratic stronghold, with folks who have worked to overturn the election in the middle of Georgia politics on the Republican side, and of course now the prospect of this big Trump speech in 2020 in the middle of the midterm election that could decide control of the U.S. Senate.
All right, so David, what does your reporting tell us about what Donald Trump might be trying to claim on Thursday? David's not there. Excuse me, sorry about that. Glenn, my bad. Glenn, what is the expectation regarding the speech? Donald Trump has always claimed 2020 was stolen, was fraudulent. Do we know if he's going to make specific claims?
I think he's definitely going to make specific claims. Look, I mean, if you're not getting a Groundhog Day vibe off of this, you should watch the movie. Look, a couple of things here. The people who will be standing with him on the stage, particularly Bill Pulte, have very interesting backstories. I mean, Pulte has been a person who has been agitating for all kinds of maximalist efforts at the Justice Department to go after Trump's enemies. Pulte is an unacceptable pick for Senate Republicans to be permanent ODNI. So now you have Jay Clayton, who is actually going to be testifying tomorrow on Capitol Hill, who is likely to be the permanent person in that job. But in general, we're talking about an issue that Trump can't forget. He cannot let go of. Just to invoke Lindsey Graham, about 5 years ago, I and my colleagues did a really long piece on Graham. I spent a lot of time with him. In one of our interviews, we were talking about Trump's fixation on 2020. And Graham said, the thing I say to him over and over again, the thing I keep bringing up to Trump, let it go. If you don't let go of this obsession, it's going to destroy you. I don't think it has destroyed Trump thus far. I think it has impelled him. It impelled him politically to seek office again. But I think we are getting into an area right now where Donald Trump is polling generously in the high 30s. We saw a poll earlier this week that had him as low as 35%. We're seeing issues of extraordinary importance in terms of people being concerned about food prices and the economy in general, and this forever conflict now that we seem to be engaged in with Iran. There are so many issues that he has to be dealing with. The notion that we're talking about this is remarkable, and he is not talking to voters. He is talking to a mirror.
Yeah, and you've got this great reporting on Todd Blanch that you've just put out there regarding what he's doing at Justice and the way he's wrangling all the forces to prove Donald Trump right and to go after the people that went after him. Give us your reporting on that, Glenn.
Well, Blanch is his confirmation hearings are at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and Blanch has some real challenges. You know, a few months ago, really 6 months ago, a justice nominee could go before the committee and not really have much of a problem. But the atmosphere is changing. The gravitational pull, the midterms is hitting, and there's just been so many prosecutions that have floundered. Most recently is the Seychelles prosecution against James Comey. Blanch is somebody who has tried to skirt the line between running the Justice Department in a conventional way and executing President Trump's desire for retribution and to support his support his allies. One of the things that we obtained a tranche of emails through a watchdog group, about 400 emails that showed the back and forth about a year ago between senior Justice Department officials over the creation of this anti-weaponization working group inside the Justice Department that actually hasn't amounted to much. But what is really instructive is that Blanch at that point was Deputy Attorney General. He controlled a staff of approximately 24 attorneys, top political appointees in the department. And Blanch made very sure that he would install his people to control key lanes in that inquiry. The January 6th defendants, presumably this working group was looking into whether or not the Biden Justice Department had violated laws, engaged in any wrongdoing. So Blanch himself personally, and this is the first time this has been reported, Blanch himself personally oversaw the assignment of lawyers in his own office to look into Jack Smith, to look into purported coordination between the Manhattan District Attorney and federal prosecutors. So I think Blanch is going to be asked about his participation in weaponization by Democrats and perhaps some Republicans. I think this is going to give them some fodder to ask some more questions.
Yeah, and it seems like, or these two things are locked together. Donald Trump's desire to get back at anybody who's wronged him, and also his need to prove that he's not a loser, George. He can't let either one of those things go.
Right. And there's also another motivation. This is an attempt to undermine faith in elections generally in advance of an election that he is likely to lose one or both houses of Congress. And as Glenn said, I mean, this is really, he is just looking in the mirror. He is just talking to himself. This is actually exhibit number, 55,299 of Trump's fundamental mental unfitness and moral unfitness to be president. If he actually, if he doesn't believe this and he's just saying this to be manipulative, that's psychopathic. If he actually believes any of this, he's psychotic. He may well be both. And it's just classic Donald Trump. I mean, just lying without regard to the facts, making new things up, even if they don't make any sense and even if they don't connect up to things in the real world. And you have to sit here and wonder, so is he saying that the one election where he was president was the one that he lost because there was election interference? And he didn't know that in 2020. He was president in charge of the intelligence apparatus of the United States, and he didn't know that, and he didn't present the evidence then as it was happening. That's nonsense. The only two good elections we had were 2016 and 2024, when the Democrats were president. It's crazy.
So there you have it. Trump polling in the high 30s. One poll had him at 35%, giving a speech about 2020 instead of talking about food prices, the economy, or the Iran war. Glenn Thrush, with emails showing Todd Blanch personally installed his own lawyers to control the January 6th inquiry inside the Justice Department. And George Conway, with the sharpest summary anyone has given of this entire situation. He is not talking to voters, he is talking to a mirror. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see more like this, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.